Hello everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. So, there has been a lot of talk recently. Well, I've talked about it for a while now, at least, about the United States Pluto Return, which really we're in the middle of. It's not like it happened in 2022. It's actually been happening for quite a while. The Pluto of the United States is at 28 degrees of Capricorn if you round it up. And so since some astrologers think that there's a 10-degree orb to these things, so we would have been feeling it when Pluto was at about 18 degrees of Capricorn, which was right around the time I think that Donald Trump got into office. So he has been part and parcel to, I think, our Pluto return. Although his chart isn't that connected to that particular degree, save that he has Saturn conjunct Venus right around, I think, 24, 25 degrees of Capricorn. So, in that respect, there's less of a connection to the Pluto return, but he certainly has been he's been a catalyst for the divisions of the United States, and partly because his Sun, his North Node, and his Uranus actually sit on Mars in the United States chart. And Mars is in Gemini, and it's in, if you use the Sibley chart, it's in the 7th house. Now, I know some of you people don't know what I'm talking about, but for those of you who do know, Mars in the 7th house can be challenging because the 7th house is the house of partnerships. It's the house of relationship. It's the house of business partnerships, marriage partners, and open enemies. So Mars is in there in the sign of Gemini. And Mars is not particularly powerful in the sign of Gemini because the Gemini energy tends to split Mars in two. And so there's always sort of it's said that if the United States doesn't have an enemy from the outside, it will create an enemy from within, and that's kind of what we have been seeing. But that enemy within has kind of always been there. It's just that we're sort of becoming more aware of it. Of course, we have a two-party system, which kind of feeds into that Gemini energy, and we can be quite warlike, which fits into the Mars energy. I think one of the good things about the former president was that he wasn't really a warmonger. He was more interested in how much money he could make and how many people he could scam, quite frankly. And really, he's sort of, he's like a master scammer. I think he's probably scammed the world, right? But I think also one of the things that has happened with his presidency is that the facade of America has been sort of ripped off. Now, not to say that America isn't a nurturing and care about other people kind of country, but like a lot of the Cancer energy, they like to be in charge. They like to be in charge of the game. And so if you're trying to, let's just say that Cancer energy likes control. Sun in Cancer, Mercury in Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer for the United States chart. But of course, Cancer is also the nurturer, so we tend to be very generous and nurturing, especially when people are in stress or distress. However, that's not really the side of America that most people are seeing, well, through the Trump administration. and what has sort of bubbled up from that whole experience. There's a lot of levels to this, so it's not simply that. There's a lot of levels to the United States chart. It is a country of immigrants, so it's not like, it was Germany and then all these people came in that were not German. Um, and then Germany has an issue, or then they were an Italian and all these people came in and then the Italians had an issue. We're all coming from different places. If anybody should have an issue, it's the Native Americans, but of course we did a really good job on the genocide there, so which is something that we have to face and look at, and is also part of the Pluto return, as is the issues with slavery. So these are some of the issues that will come up, are coming up through this Pluto return. Um, White supremacy is one of them. Racism is another. Um, Reparations, um, the treatment of native populations and the genocide of them. And then if we extend that out from just what's going on in America, we can look at America's sort of aggressive empire-ish ways, uh, going in, disrupting, going down in South America, going down in Central America, these CIA-based wars in Laos and that area when we were in Vietnam, or the debacle that happened in the Middle East, and the destabilization of the Middle East that is causing way more problems for Europe than it is causing the most problems for the Middle East, but also Europe because it's right there. So you have all these people. And of course, there's always Africa, which is under the radar still, but that they have put a lot of troops in Africa. I know Barack Obama did that, but there's a lot of Islamists, the Boko Haram people, and those guys. So there's a big problem. There's a big problem, and of course, the United States, as the leader of the free world, right? I guess. Or depending on who you are, whether you're free or not, is now up for its Pluto return. So the Pluto return is only seen in countries. It's not seen in people because Pluto takes 250 years to go around the zodiac. So nobody's going to live that long. Pluto is seen as the lord of the underworld. Um, Pluto was discovered in 1930. It was demoted in 2006, I believe, to a dwarf planet at the same time that Ceres, who was considered an asteroid, was promoted to a dwarf planet. So Ceres and Pluto are on the same sort of astronomical level and perhaps even astrological level. Both of them have an energy of um, death and rebirth. So the Pluto return for the United States is the death and the rebirth of the United States. And we're in the process, and the exact conjunctions of Pluto to Pluto are happening 3 times in 2022. The first time will be February. I believe it's February 20th, 2022. So it's 220 2022. A lot of twos, a lot of twos. And 2, of course, is the number of duality. So I thought I would just do a quick card read, but I would do a read on the United States Pluto return to see what comes up in the cards, at least at this point. So let's see what comes up in the cards, because I'm curious myself. I will do a more extended astrology reading talking about the Pluto return, and I'm going to see if I can get maybe another astrologer or another reader to do it with me, so we can have different perspectives. So we'll see. I'll work on that for you guys. Okay, so this is very interesting because the first card that comes up is the Six of Wands. Now, the Six of Wands is victory. So here we have the victorious soldiers coming back from war. Let's just see here. The guy has a hawk. He's got his helmet off. He's got his people behind him, his foot soldiers behind him. Very often, this card can be victory, but at what cost, right? What has victory cost? Numerologically, this is a 32-5 vibration, okay? This is the Six of Wands, a 32-5, located in the Sephiroth Tiphereth, which means beauty, and is associated with the heart chakra. The 32-5 vibration is the path of the United States. It's the life path of the United States. But it is also the shadow of the United States. Victory at what cost? Freedom, the 5 vibration, at what cost? My freedom is usually somebody else's what? Death, somebody else's servitude, right? These are things. So what is the price of freedom? And what is freedom really? Can we have freedom without responsibility? A lot of people feel like they have rights, but they have no responsibility to other people. Well, that's not freedom. That's just being a selfish a selfish person. I was going to say something, but we'll try to keep it nice and clean. I'm going to leave the Jersey out of it. The Jersey girl is going to stay nice and quiet in the background today. We'll see how that goes. So, the Pluto return, of course, is an exploration of the shadow, and the shadow of freedom, and what freedom has cost, and who paid for it, and who continues to pay for it, and who benefits from it, and who doesn't benefit from it. Let's see the challenge. We have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is about having the higher moral ground, or certainly thinking you have the higher moral ground. The interesting thing about this vibration is that this is a 33 vibration, which is a master number. So this is the master number of compassion, 33. Master of compassion. So so the challenge here is how can we be free and yet continue to be compassionate and to hold the higher moral ground? How do we even have the higher moral ground? Do we have anything to stand on besides the fact that we came in during the war and I guess saved humanity from Hitler? But as you look at it now, what you try to destroy, you create, according to one of my teachers. And so we destroyed Hitler, and with a lot of help from Russia, mind you. And here we are with white supremacists in the Capitol building, and the Confederate flag in the Capitol building, right? So yes, perhaps we did do what we did in the 40s, but we haven't really rooted out the issue, right? Let's see what's at the root of the situation. The Queen of Wands. The Queen of Wands is the sustainer. The Queen is the sustainer. The Wands is sustainer of spirit. So how do we sustain the spirit of America? This is a Leo vibration. The Queen of Wands is associated with Leo, and the North Node of the United States is in Leo. So the North Node is our collective evolution. And so Leo is about rulership. It's about generosity of heart. It's about being a leader. And so we have to be a leader, but you can't be a leader without compassion. Let's see what's in the past. The Two of Swords. This is a sense of being at a crossroads. So in the past, interestingly enough, we are at a crossroads. This is also a card associated with being at a stalemate. And for certainly our government has sort of been at a stalemate. It's even amazing that anything at all gets done, because there's so many things in the way of fair governance in this U.S., including dark money. In the sky, we have the Ace of Pentacles. So the Ace of Pentacles talks about a new beginning based on a new set of values. So that's in the sky. Let's see what's in the immediate future. We have the Wheel of Fortune. So in the immediate future for the United States, there is a change in fortune. So we can expect ups and downs. This is a card of ups and downs. It's a card of destiny. It's called the great. It's called the conciliating energy on the tree of life, and it's connected. It's a path that connects um, the higher chakras, namely the throat chakra, with the solar plexus chakra. And the solar plexus chakra is our personal will, and the the um, the throat is divine will. And the thing is, if this energy evens things out, it's like you can't get too high on the horse here, because the wheel will turn and you'll be at the bottom. And you can't stay at the bottom because the wheel will turn and you will move back up. So it's this sort of cyclical revolution of energy. And the key to this card is to stay centered within the moment that you're in and watching the ups and downs without getting caught up in it. And when you're up at the top, not to get too like, oh, I'm the king of the world, because, the mighty shall fall and the meek shall rise, and not to be so meek that you can't aspire, right, to something higher and something better. So this energy is one of, in its way, a balancing out, so that we, on a certain level, realize that life on planet Earth and, trying to be the king of the world and then not being the king of the world is simply a cyclical process. We have risen up to a certain place, and we can't stay there because it's not the natural order of things anyway. How it's seen from the outside, the Ace of Cups, a search for happiness, a search for contentment, a search for love, a search for the Holy Grail, right? There's aspirational qualities. So the aspirational qualities of the United States is still seen by the people outside of the United States. The domestic situation is the Queen of Cups. It's very interesting. We have a Queen of Wands at the root. We have a Queen of Cups in the domestic situation. This is about sitting across from one another over a cup of tea. This is about feelings and feeling our feelings and processing our feelings. It also has to do with, I believe, the rise of the feminine, the rise of the feminine. For a Cancer country, we do not treat our women or our children very well. And to be true to our nature, we need to take care of those who cannot take care of themselves. We've been there before. We've attempted that. It hasn't been completely successful, but at least we have to say, really, that we have gotten further than most when it comes to issues of maybe recognizing the feminine or the power of the feminine. Although it seems that America is terrified to have a woman president. That really scares them, because Mother comes in and says, no, no, boys, we can't be fighting anymore. We're going to have to take care of things now. So roll up your sleeves, put your guns away, and let's take care of things. Let's see the hopes and fears of the Fool. So there are many people who hope for a whole new beginning, right? And there are some people who are terrified of that. One way or the other, Pluto return is the death and rebirth cycle. So this is going to happen to us anyway. So no need to fear it. Let's see the outcome. The Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles. Interesting outcome. The Four of Pentacles is it's actually a card in the decks that are normally seen as like holding on to your money and, like holding on to things and not being willing to let go. But the fours in the tarot are all located in Hesed. And Hesed is the Sephiroth associated with the planet Jupiter, and it is also the Sephiroth associated with the whole idea of generosity and expansion and giving and being charity, right? Charity. There's like a charity vibe to that place on the Tree of Life. And so I think that there needs to be a balance between helping ourselves and helping others. I think that's what that Four of Pentacles is. And we have, and I'm going to pull three more cards, see if we can get a major arcana. We have the Seven of Swords. This is about, like, this guy is sitting here and he's rubbing his head and he's like, is it really as bad as it seems? It could be. It could be. I almost feel like this is the guy who's in charge of the budget for the military, because he's got the swords there and he's like, really? Is this where the money goes? Oh, this is a disaster. I think they tried to how many times have they tried to audit the Pentagon and they just couldn't do it because they just don't freaking know where any of the money goes, right? All right. And wrap it up with the Queen of Swords. So we have three queens here. Three queens. This could be uh Kamala Harris because she is a Libra, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. But we have the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Queen of Cups here. And so this is it feels to me like this really is going to be on the other side of this Pluto return. There's going to be some changes in the power structures. As a physician, as a doctor for 30 odd years, um, chiropractor, for those of you who don't know me and are wondering what I was doing, what kind of doctor I was. Because, a lot of people call themselves doctors. They're like, what kind of doctor are you? I've had those questions asked in that way. Chiropractor since 1987, so a long time. And I've noticed like the guys get into something and then they make all the money doing it, and then it's no longer as financially, lucrative. So the men go different places, and then the women sort of come in and actually start like taking care of the people. I feel like that's like a theme here. It's like, oh, we can't make money here anymore. Okay, let's go on to brighter futures. And then the women come in and fix things and take care of it and nurture it and make it better. That could be, in my case, a little bit of a, what's the word? Prejudice on my part. So, all right, let's see what's underneath. We have the Five of Swords, which is unfair tactics, cruelty, rebirth. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the Hermit. The Hermit. This is shining your light, spreading your wisdom. This, I know Ellie from Down Under, who I love actually, calls this the power of one. And I understand that. The power of your own wisdom that you have accrued by walking up the mountain and getting to the top. And of course we have a wolf here in this deck, and wolf is always associated with teacher. So how do we learn? Like, how do we learn from our misdeeds, right? How are we reborn? How do we come out? So we're definitely going to come out the other side of this with a lot more wisdom, and I dare say with a lot more compassion. Now that's pretty general. What that's going to look like, I don't know. And I wouldn't even dare say, but to say that things are changing, folks. And if you think that at the end of 2022, that it's going to look like it does at the end of 2021, you're mistaken. It's going to be different. And then it's going to be different at the end of 2023 and 2024. So we have a number of years to go. The most intense, the biggest intensity will be when things are exact. and then coming up to that point, because when it's when the planets like close, 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 and then they're exact, but it's that like last few, and then it's going to go past it, and then it's going to come back in case we didn't get it the first time, and then it's going to go like this, and then we start a new soul, sort of a new soul journey. The soul of the United States in Kabbalah and the numerology that I use is a 9 vibration, so 45-9, which is the 5 of Cups. It's interesting that the 45th president was the one who was kind of in when the intensity of the Pluto return, we really started to feel it. Lest we forget that from 2012 to 2015, we had 7 exact squares of Pluto and Uranus. First quarter, crisis in action. We must take action to build the foundation and the structure for whenever that synodic cycle began. Pluto and Uranus came together in 65 and 66 3 times, started that synodic cycle in I think it was the 18th or the 19th degree of Virgo. So we can go back to the 60s because that was the birth of the new sort of order of things, the new evolutionary push, as it were, with Uranus and Pluto conjoining. And so it may feel like we haven't gotten very far, but we've actually done quite a bit. Now, and there's been a lot of back and forth because we were trying to escape the ghosts of the past, but then the past keeps pulling to us, and then so there's this push-pull. Once we had that last quarter square, it was about rolling up that first quarter square between Pluto and Uranus, between 2012 and 2015. Now we have to start to build the structures that will support the women's movement, the ecology movement, the civil rights movement, gay marriage or gay rights, or just general human and civil rights, right? For everybody, no matter who they are. So we're okay. We're going to do it. Are we going to be this mighty, thing with all the bombs and stuff? No. Which is probably good because I think we're a little too young to be playing with guns to start with. But, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I'm optimistic, but I also know that it's going to be scary. And one of the things that we have to really do our best is not to get caught up in the scary part. Do what you need to do to stay safe. Organize your life in such a way that you can weather the storm that is upon us. It's not coming, it's here. We're in the middle of the storm. And we'll get to the other side of it, but we need to make sure that we are, underneath it all, shining our light. It's time to do your work, folks. We came here at this time to bring up humanity to another level of consciousness, and it is time to put that in order and to be reborn and to move away from that 5 of Swords, which is nobody likes. Nobody likes that. And the thing is, with the 5s, all the 5s, the 5 of Swords and any of the other 5s, there's a karmic component to that. So as you sow, so shall you reap. So that is something that we have to realize. And we're not the only ones. So it's not just America. It's just that we happen to be, on the front lines of it right now. So, okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it elucidated something for you. I had fun. So if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, share if you like. Thank you to all my subscribers and to my donors and to all your wonderful comments. I do read them. I need to get a little more interactive with that because I definitely read them. But yeah, so have yourself a great day. Much love. We're going to be fine. We'll stick together and make it through. Take care.